I love Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I know I'm 19 years old, but I love the books. So when I first saw the trailer for Diary of a Wimpy Kid, I was really let down because I was like, oh man, they're turning this into a kid's movie. But then I realized over time, they're kids' books. You know, I'm an older kid reading a younger kid's book, and I just happen to enjoy it. So, you know, I realized that I shouldn't be upset that it looks like a kid's movie because that's who they're supposed to be catering to. So, I got over it pretty quick, and I went into Diary of a Wimpy Kid expecting a kid's movie. And I'm glad that I had that mindset going in because I very much enjoyed it. Now, the transfer from the book to the movie, in some spots, it was great. And then in other spots, it fell flat on its face. The parts where it excelled were absolutely the pacing, number one, and the little cartoon, little in-betweens and stuff. Those were amazing. And the pacing, like I just said, was fantastic because in the books, it skips from one thing to the next so quickly. Like, all of a sudden it's Halloween, then all of a sudden it's the spring show, the musical at school, whatever. It jumps around so fast through his year at school, I guess, whatever. And in the movie, it was exactly the same. So it panned out exactly like the books in that respect. The parts where the movie didn't work so much compared to the book were absolutely in the casting, and also in some of the jokes, because they added in some jokes that were just kind of goofy, you know, and, you know, it was just like, why even add them? Why not just use jokes from the book? So, you know, that's the only gripe I ever have with, like, adaptations. They throw stuff in that it's completely unnecessary, but maybe younger kids found those jokes funny. I have no idea. But the casting is absolutely no excuse. I'll start off with the best and work my way to the absolute worst. Number one, best person in the movie, I thought, was Roderick. Now, I picture him being a little bit tougher. He was a little goofy in the movie, but like I said, it's a kid's movie, so, you know, it makes sense. It's perfectly fine. Greg was better than I was expecting. Definitely much better than I was expecting. Because, you know, when I first saw the kid playing Greg, I was like, this doesn't look anything like him. But then I realized the kid in the book is a stick figure. No one's gonna look like him. So, you know, for what it's worth, I think they actually did a good job with that. Rowley, however, was a little bit off. Sometimes he was good, and sometimes he was not so good. The times when he was good, I was like, wow, he's actually got Rowley down. Because in my opinion, Rowley, the character, never knew what was going on, really, you know, and like I said when I saw the trailer, you know, this kid didn't seem like Rowley, because Rowley to me always seemed like he was a little bit slow. Not, you know, I mean, I'm not trying to be offensive or anything, but that's just how it came off to me a little bit, and come on, if you look at the picture of him, you know, it kind of lends itself to that. So, you know, this kid looked perfectly normal, and I was like, I don't know. But, like I said, sometimes he really seemed to not know what was going on at all, but then there was other times where he seemed a little too aware and a little too smart. And, you know, it kind of messed up the character a little bit. They should have made him a little bit more oblivious. Their friends, Fregley and Chirag Gupta, they were great. Fregley, at first, I thought wasn't going to be good, but he actually ended up being very, very funny and had some of the best jokes in the movie. And Chirag was very funny as well. Again, he had some funny little one-liners and stuff. So, you know, as little side characters, they were very funny. Now, I forget the name of the one girl who is, like, the nemesis of Greg, I guess, but she was very good. She was very cartoony, so I guess that works. And I gotta point out, Chloe Moretz, why was she in this movie? I don't understand what the point of her character was. I feel like you could cut her out of the movie and there'd be no difference, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not complaining, I love her, but it was very odd. Then we have Manny. Now, I'm getting towards the worst here. Manny, the kid playing Manny was adorable. She was two kids, it was twins. They were adorable. But the problem is, and again, this is a thing that can't possibly translate from the book, he didn't look like Manny at all. But then, if you look at the picture of Manny, it looks like he was born with, like, a birth defect. His face is, like, deformed. So, I guess it would be kind of offensive if they really, really played off of that, and I don't think it was intentionally supposed to be like that. That's just how he's drawn. So, you know, that's impossible, I guess. But the little kid was adorable, so it's all good. And the worst, absolute worst casting, the parents. They were awful. Not that the acting was bad, the acting was fine, but, you know, whoever cast them, those are not his parents at all. They don't even look like them, they don't act like them, nothing. It's like, what in the world were they thinking? And, I mean, like, the parents are sometimes some of the funniest people because the mom is, like, oblivious all the time, and the dad sometimes almost seems like he's, like, ashamed, completely ashamed of his son, Greg. And, you know, but maybe that's too serious for a kid's movie. Maybe that's like a serious drama. So I don't really know, but I thought that the parents were probably the worst casting in the movie. By the way, my chair is moving up a little bit because the sun is starting to come onto my face and it's kind of washed out if I am in the sun. Really quickly, just to touch on the music. Two things. One, I thought that the score sounded like a modern, souped-up Charlie Brown, which was really, really cool. And two, right when the credits start, there's a Forever the Sickest Kid song, and the lyrics right at the start of the song are, getting wasted with so-called friends, and it's like, First of all, Forever the Sickest Kids in a little kid's movie, it's like... Second of all, those lyrics are kind of out of place for what the movie was supposed to be, so, I mean, whatever. Forever the Sickest Kids... So really quickly, getting back to how the book translated to the movie, in some respects, like I said, the pacing, absolutely, it was fantastic, and I was shocked. And I have to point out a few other great things, were the fact that they did an amazing job showing how Greg tries so hard to make things go right and just fails, and Rowley does nothing, and accidentally has everything great happen to him, and I thought that they did that fantastically in the movie. And just in general, there was some things like Jeff Kinney's humor that actually was in the movie really, really well, such as there was like a headline in a newspaper that said, "Cheerleader gains pound," and that is so Jeff Kinney's humor. I don't know, maybe it said it in the books, I forget, and by the way, I'm pointing down here because I was going to point out that I had the movie diary, and I read it within the 2 days before the movie came out. So, just to show you how much I love the Wimpy Kid books. While this has nothing to do with the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, I have to point out how amazingly funny the little video that they watched in class that was called, like, "I am awesome" or something like that, or like, "Look how awesome I am," whatever. It was like an old style video, and when the kid starts breakdancing, they use a different actor. It was like the funniest thing I've ever seen. Oh, and another thing that I was so happy that was in this movie, and I totally forgot, was Zooey Mama. And Wacky Dog. They mentioned Wacky Dog, but specifically Zooey Mama was in it a lot, and it was so funny. I wish they had shown more Zooey Mama comics because they're so freaking funny in the books. Oh my god, I wanted to die when they started singing to audition for the musical. It was so amazing. And then she's like, "Greg, why don't you play Dorothy?" I was dying. And Loaded Diaper, of course, Roderick's band, I thought that was done really, really well because I love when it's just like a quick little snippet of the music that a band in a movie's playing, because like if it's not the focus of the movie, they just have a quick little thing, and it's usually like crappy lyrics and crappy music, and that's what it was. It was so funny. I could go on and on talking about the comparisons and stuff, but basically I think you get the idea. I very much enjoyed Diary of a Wimpy Kid because I went in expecting a kids movie and I got a kids movie. A great kids movie, actually. And I imagine that all young kids are going to love this movie. I imagine it's going to get slammed by critics. I could be wrong, but it's just, it seems like critics that are like 40 years old tend to watch these movies and say like, "It was stupid." And it's like, dude, you're stupid. It's for kids. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So if you see any reviews like that, check the age of the person reviewing the movie. So overall, just to sum it up really quickly, big thumbs up from me on Diary of a Wimpy Kid. They did a very, very good job, and I think that fans of the book will like it if they go in knowing that it's a kid's movie if they're around my age or older, because I know that there are some older people that read the books, and if they go in with that mindset, then they will definitely enjoy it, and I'm sure many, many kids will love this movie, and I'm sure we will get a sequel. Let me know in the comments what you thought of Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Let me know if you read the books and how old you are, and how you thought it went over to the movie, and if you haven't read the books, just let me know what you thought of the movie in general, and that is pretty much it.